Ready? We're going to stand on our feet today. Start on our feet. Ready? Come on, let's do this.
Starting on our feet.
Come on, up you go. Let's go.
I'm already on my knees.
Yoga for strength today. All right, so we're going to start on our feet. Get grounded. Find your 2 feet on the ground. Notice that they're muddy from the garden. So just tap your feet out. Start to just wake up your feet. Feel your feet. Find your breath. So give a couple of heel taps. So really tap the heel, just finding your heels, finding your feet. And land your feet about hip width apart. And roll the weight around on the balls of the feet. Round onto the edges of the feet, into the heels. Just really looking at your feet and experiencing your feet. Then maybe take your circle of your weight around in the opposite direction. Really taking care and attention with your feet. My feet are so dirty.
Mine are turned up.
And then land on your feet. Feel the ground. Feel your breath in your body and bring your hands to prayer heart space. Maybe even closing your eyes and centering and grounding. Slowing your breath. Maybe even tuning in and feeling all the little micro adjustments that happen when you stand on your own 2 feet. And today, perhaps setting a little intention for yourself, maybe to stay grounded, to stay focused, or just take a break from the outside world for an hour. Really bring that intention and like making a little promise to yourself. And then bring your prayer to your forehead as if sealing that intention in. And then we're going to begin to move and breathe. So letting our prayer come down, we're going to inhale, take a big circle of our hands overhead, connect our prayer, and bring it down to our heart. The exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice and slow at first. Connecting with our breath. Starting to connect with our body. And then we can start to make this bigger. We can stay simple. We're going to come on up to our toes with our knees bent as we inhale and not dropping our heels, sinking our hips down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Little tiny movement, more full body. And always picking and choosing where you're at. If your ankles are super wobbly, bring your heels down a little bit more. Stay where you're strong and build strength. And either staying with this, or we're going to start to inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, torso down towards the knees, still keeping the heels raised. Inhale up. Exhale down. Try not to lock the knees when you come up or push the hips forward. We're still keeping the stomach really pulled towards the spine, keeping our center of gravity right around our hips. See if you can feel like you're pulling the mat apart with your feet and engage more of your legs. And then slowly lower the heels and tap it out this time. See how your feet feel. Take a little side to side with the arms, letting them go, letting them soften. And staying on our own 2 feet. Starting to move and breathe and build. We're going to bring the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to bring right elbow to right knee, squeezing the belly. So squeeze, pull. Inhale up, exhale other side. Inhale up, exhale other side. So starting to really use the stomach here. Focusing on trying to be really strong and balanced. And you can stay with this. So if you like, start to lift the leg. So leg straighter. Ooh, harder to balance. Squeeze the top of the leg, hip flexors, as well as the core. Inhale, reaching up long. Exhale, squeezing down and balancing. And then bring it back down. Inhale up, bring your pro down to your heart with the exhale. Land in center. Find your breath. And we're going to inhale up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Touch the ground with very bent knees. And then right foot back, left foot back. Landing in our plank, lowering our knees to our tabletop. We're going to move and breathe here. Inhaling forward and exhaling hips backward. Really connecting with our hands on the ground, starting to use our arm muscles. And then starting to build here. So we're going to inhale forward and come all the way forward and add a little bend, a little strength in the shoulders and arms. And then all the way back. Inhale all the way forward. And all the way back. Mindful not to place the weight right in the wrist joint. Arms are strong. Strong weight in the balls of the hands. And then switch your hand position, make it a little wider. Same thing, inhale forward, bending the arms, exhale backwards. And then come on back, tabletop, set up nice and strong. I'm going to take the right leg back, even with the hip. Bend the knee and take little pulses of the heel to the ceiling, activating the glute and not sinking into the shoulder or bowing the back. Pull the stomach up, active and strong. And then we're going to bring this knee slowly all the way towards the right wrist. And then all the way back, maybe tap the toe. All the way to the right wrist. All the way back, cross the body, tap the toe. Start to make this movement really long and strong. Start to take any adjustments that feel good in your body. And if you have troubles with your knees, put something underneath your knees, put a blanket there. So we're not throwing our leg in space, we're using our muscle. Going by Kaylee's giggle, she was showing you how to throw your leg in space.
I was showing you what not to do.
And then bring it down even with the hip. Lower the toes, press through the heel. Bring that right knee down. Turn the wrist, the right wrist, fingertips towards the knee, and just open up the back of the wrist. Keeping a little weight in that left wrist, so you can just play with opening the back of the wrist without any.
I cheat on those so much that I end up working the same spot on my other leg, so it ends up being the same thing, but like backwards.
And then set up for the other side. Left leg, even with the hip. We're going to lift our stomach towards the spine, bend the knees, and pumps of the heel to the ceiling. Chest is active. You're pressing into your hands like you're trying to push them away from you. And then we're going to bring that left knee all the way towards the left wrist. Cross the body, tap the foot nice and slow.
Someone coming upstairs.
Bring the left leg even with the hip, lower the toes, press through the heel. And then lower the knee. Take the knees really wide, maybe even toes touching. Squeeze the legs. Start to come back and bring the torso to a hover. So legs are strong and active. We're going to hover our torso. We'll come back to it. We're taking a break. We're doing some core strength. So we're going to press one hand at a time over, left to right, squeezing the core. So you want to think about these muscles between the rib cage and the hip. You want to also be squeezing the legs. Lift up off the leg, off the heels. You're not sinking your glute all the way to the heels. Bring your back. Tabletop, nice and slow. Leaving the right hand where it is. Turn the left wrist so that the fingertips are pointing towards the knee. Opening up the back of the wrist. Bring it back to tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes and going up to down dog. So find whatever movement feels good in down dog. Warming up your down dog, lifting up out of the wrists. And then find stillness in down dog and find your breath. Maybe placing a little deeper bend in your knees so you can get really strong in your lower core. And you bring the weight onto your right hand. Take your left hand a little bit wider. And then take your right hand a little bit wider, maybe about mat width apart. Squeezing the core. This is all in the arms, so we're not moving the lower body. We're going to take our head down towards the ground. Little push-ups here. So little, tiny, small down dog push-ups. Only move as far as you are strong. So if you start to feel buckling, make the movement smaller. You can also just do this from your knees down. And then find a wide arms down dog. We're going to bring the right hand to fingertips. Push a little weight into your fingertips, making your hands strong in a different position. Let that go. Bring your left hand to fingertips. Bring a little weight into the left hand. And then if you want to be super crazy and want to try it, see if you can go into 2 hands down dog on the fingers. Lower the hand. And we're going to come over to high plank. Coming forward to high plank, taking a break if you need it. Holding in high plank, challenging yourself. And then lowering the knees and finding a child's. And if your wrists need a break, turning your palms up and just opening your hands, pressing the back of your hands down into the ground. And then come on out, turn the fingertips towards you and open up back of the wrists. It's hot in here already. Bring it on back to a down dog. Bring it forward to a high plank. Get set up in your high plank. And we're going to try that challenge here. So bringing the weight onto the left hand, maybe fingertips or fist. Place a little weight here. Strengthen the wrist in a different position. Switch sides. Either fingertips or fist on the left hand. And then if you want to be really crazy, try for 2 fists. Breathe and get strong. And then switch and find down dog. And suddenly, when we do all these challenging poses, we understand why some people call down dog a resting pose. Look toward the hands and either hop or take 1,000 tiny steps all the way up to hands. Feet underneath hips, bend in the knees, get long in the spine. Hands on the thighs. We're going to bend the knees deeply and then inhale as we send the knees back. Spine long. Getting longer and longer in the spine. And longer in the legs. And then take your feet a little bit wider. Feel like you're pulling the mat apart first so the legs are strong and engaged. Same thing. Bend in the knees. Inhale as we come up. Exhale as we bend. Strong, active legs. Long in the spine. Start to bring the hips down further and further. And then we're going to turn the heels in and bring them down even further, starting to come towards our squat. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. Yoga for strength. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. And you can keep your hands on your thighs or start to bring your hands in. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. And then we're going to build upon this. So maybe you're staying with this. We're going to build. We're bringing it down. Inhale as you place your weight onto one foot. Tap over, down, tap over.
I'm landing really aggressively.
Strong legs. Not using momentum, using your muscles. And then bring it on back to center. Tap it out and land on your 2 feet. Bring your hands to prayer. Inhaling up, exhaling down, and settle. Find your breath. We're going to start to work our balance here. So I think facing you is better. Kaylee will go to the side. Bring the weight onto the left leg. We're going to bring the right leg up. Try not to throw out the hips. Bring your hips center. Squeeze the core. Hold. Strong right leg. We'll begin by just little pulses. Activating this right leg. So hot in here. And then we're going to work our balance. So you might want to add a little more bend in this left leg just to make it nice and strong and bring your center of balance lower down. We're going to bring the knee up. We're going to send the heel all the way back and tap. Same movement we were doing before, only this time lots of balance. Bring it all the way forward, maybe heel forward, and all the way back. And tap. Look for compensation patterns. Try not to make this in your back. Try not to grip front toes on the left foot. Make this nice, strong and controlled.
Don't look at her.
Huh?
I said don't look at you because I looked at you and I fell over.
So find something on the ground that's not moving. Focus on it, and then focus on the muscles that you're using. You're using all the muscles around your hip, your core. Soften your face and shoulders. Find some more muscles in your legs. And then land the right leg all the way back, curtsy. So land here. Find a little stability here. Be glad that you're up off that left foot a little. From here, we're going to take little squats. So take an inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale up, exhale, lower. Squeezing muscles. And then bring your weight back onto the left foot. And bring that right foot back. Step it out. Tap the left foot. Really get it loose and soft. You're going to take the left foot. You're going to tuck it behind you. Toes tucked. Land the toes on the ground. And then feel like you're pulling that foot towards you without letting it move. Should fire up the front of the leg. Open up the top of the foot. You can bend a little deeply into the right leg. And then over to the other side. So weight onto the right leg first, bringing this left leg up, strong and active. So the whole leg is strong. Try not to throw that right hip out, bringing it back in center. Squeeze. Balance. Little pulses of the knee up and down, using the top of the leg, lower core, soft face, soft shoulders. And then the same movement we were doing before. Heel is forward, and then send it all the way back behind, maybe tapping cross body. Nice and slow and with control. Maybe bringing a little deeper bend into the right leg, helping you keep your center of gravity a little lower. Noticing if one side was easier than the other. And then land it in a curtsy. It's set up. Settle and ground. Hands to prayer. And take a deep inhale. With the exhale, little tiny squat. Small movements, slow and controlled. Squeeze the core. Feel like you're pulling your hip bones together and your stomach back towards your spine. Glutes should be active, but not more active than the whole lower torso and the whole legs. And then slowly bringing the weight onto the right foot. Step and tap it out. Really tapping that right foot out, having some wiggles. And then taking the right foot, tucking it under, placing the toes down, and a little pull, just to stretch and open the front of that foot. My feet are so dirty. Like, note to self, don't go to the garden before coming to the studio or wash your feet. Bring it up, tap it up.
Rechecking. I was gonna say rechecking my barrels.
Yes, I was checking to see what damage your dog had done. All right, catch our breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. Bring the weight onto the left foot. Bring the right foot up. Try not to move the hips. This time we're going to send it past the left. Catch a warrior 3. Slowly bending the left knee. Lower the right, little taps. Little tiny squats before we lower into our high lunge. Lower the right foot. Find your high lunge. Get nice and steady in your feet. Feel like you're really pulling the feet apart to really activate more of the legs. Bring the right knee to a hover. Hold. Little pulses. Small, tiny movements. You can bring your arms up. You can bring your arms out. Makes the torso a little heavier, a little harder. Land your high lunge, hands to prayer. Send that back leg towards straight. Finding a little stillness in this pose. We're going to bring the arms up overhead. Draw the elbows down. So bring the elbows down and behind you. We're going to breathe, move and breathe here. Inhaling up. Little straightening of the legs. Exhale, draw down. Inhale up. Exhale down.
Balance for me.
Bring it down, open up. Bring me a little wider in the chest. Your back, your lower back is tense. Bring that back knee bent. Bring the arms out. We're going to bring right elbow towards left knee. Nice and slow. Small, tiny movement in the hips. So the hips open a little. And then bring that right elbow towards the left knee or right arm towards the left knee. Using the muscles of the torso, using the muscles of the hips. Nice and slow and with control. Bring it back to center and we're going to go back the way we came. Weight onto the front leg, pop up the back. Slowly bend the knee and bring it all the way up to stand. Cross the right foot over the left knee, perhaps sitting it down. And then lower the foot, tap it out. Super hot in here.
Sit down and show off.
Huh?
I said sit down and show off.
It was hot yoga in here.
It's very hot.
Inhale up, center, catch your breath. Bring it down to your heart. And then weight onto the right leg, bringing the left leg up. Sending the left knee past the right, finding your warrior three. So not worrying so much about how high the back lifts, just back leg lifts. Getting the heel long and active. So the whole leg is active, stomach is active, and trying to keep the hips stable. And long in the spine. So as much length as you can get from your hips to the crown of your head, challenging your strength. And then little tiny lower of the toes, bend of the knee, toe taps. And then lower the back leg, high lunge, get set up. You're really strong in your high lunge. Then lower the back leg to a hover, back knee. And little tiny pulses here. And again, lots of options with the arms. You can have your hands at prayer, you can have them on your hips, arms out, or arms open. Settle into a high lunge. Bring the arms up overhead. Exhale as we draw them down. And then we'll move and breathe. So inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, lower. Draw it down, hold it, open. Draw the elbows more behind you. Open up the chest. And then find your high lunge. Arms out nice and wide. Torso a little bit forward. Left armpit towards right knee. Slight, small movement in the hips. Bring it back to center. And back the way we came. Torso forward. Pop up the back leg. Bend the knee. Bring it all the way up to stand. Cross the left ankle over. Right knee. Sit it down. Whew. And bring it down. And this time really tap it out. Let it go. Swing it left to right. Letting go. Feeling your feet. I'm going to do a little bit of back strength and then bring it on down. Sit down. That would be a 20-minute Shavasana. Nice try. All right, inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Touch the ground. Step right foot back, left foot back. Challenging yourself in plank. If you're ready for child's, just take child's. If you'd like to lower the knees, or even bring them to a hover. We're going to do a little challenge here. So we're going to bring left hand to right knee. So squeeze and tap, squeeze and tap. Try to do this with as much strength and control as possible. We're not just throwing ourselves around. Strength and tap. You can take your hands wider. You can take a little movement side through. You can also start to really twist over. So bringing the hip into the center also. Squeezing the core, making sure this movement is slow and with control. Bring it back to center, lower the knees, and then find your way all the way down to crocodile. So stomach down, one hand on top of another, forehead down, shimmy the hips, and let go. So back work options. If you have not been working with me for a long time, and you feel your back muscles are not very strong, you're just going to bring your hands in underneath your hips. Inhale, lift the shoulders, and exhale, lower. Try not to lift the crown of the head, but lift the shoulders so that we're not pulling all the tension into our neck. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And as you're doing this, trying to find even use of all of the muscles in the back line. The legs are active, the glutes are active, everything, the mid-back, upper back, everything's strong. Also, the stomach is pulled tightly towards the spine. See how many muscles you can find, and see if you can bring a soft smile to your face and let your shoulders and neck soften a little. Feel your back is strong and you would like to build. We're going to lift our shoulders. We're going to lift our toes. We're going to get strong all the way through our legs. We're going to pull our stomach towards our spine. We're going to lift our hands out really wide from the shoulders. Make sure that we do not have all the tension in our neck. And we're going to take small side to side movements. So take the shoulder and right hand a little bit over to the right, back to center, and the left hand like you're flying. We're going to turn right, back to center, and turn left. And yes, you can
I
laugh.
do this in my kids' class.
It is silly.
You're a plane and you're flying. Turn left. All right, fly straight. Turn right.
Oh no, let's keep flying.
Turn
You can do it. You can do it even if you laugh. Bring it up. We're not done yet. Little tiny pulses from here. Keep going. And then bring it on down to crocodile. And what can you shimmy and let go of this time? I bet it feels a lot better now. Take a giant breath in and really sigh it all out of the mouth. Let go. From here, slowly slide the right knee towards the right elbow. Flex the right foot. Press the heel of the right foot actively into the ground and lift the right knee. So pulse the right knee up. Get it up all the way to the ceiling. So you're not actually going to be able to lift it. It's just the action of thinking about lifting that right knee up. So push the heel into the ground, fire up the glutes, and lift that right knee. Watch for compensation patterns. There's no competition. You just want to fire up the muscles that would use that right knee. We don't need to push into the ground and try and...
I can hop it off. I can't.
Yeah, you don't want to hop it off. Or there's no competition. We just want to push the right knee up towards the ceiling, squeezing and firing up all the muscles of the outer hip. Shape the booty. And then bring that heel flexed, and we're going to lift the heel. Lift it as high as it goes. We're going to bring it towards the glute and then back to about even with the knees. So find the position where your knee feels most comfortable, and then little pulses of the heel up to the ceiling. Noticing which muscles you're using, probably a whole different set of muscles. Keep the tension out of the neck and the head. And then slide that knee back, even with the hip. Bring both feet to the ceiling and take a little side to side sway with the feet, nice and soft. Same thing on the other side. Right leg long, left knee comes towards the left elbow. Place the heel down and little pulses, trying to lift that knee up off the ground. Notice if one side's harder than the other. Oh my gosh, my left side is locked up today.
I can't even feel my left side.
Mine is locked. It's like, nope, not doing that. See ya.
I think mine's like disassociated. So I can't do it. It won't let me push.
And then bring the heel slowly up. Find the position that's comfortable for your knee. And then little tiny pulses of the heel up to the ceiling. And make sure that you're using muscles to make this movement. We're not just throwing our leg around, rolling through the joint. We're using our muscles, trying to find different muscles in the leg and hip. Lower that heel down. And very carefully, see if you can bring the right knee up towards the right shoulder. So you might need to push into your torso. Bring the left knee in a little. and lift and see if you can bring both legs up. So you're probably going to come up, lift your body up so that you can have both legs. Yeah, Kayla's going to do it the other way. Make sure your knees are comfortable. Find the position that works for your knees. To make this more active, you're going to pull the knees together without letting them move. Take the tension out of your neck. And then take little movements, tiny movements of the hips forward and back. Just feeling the inner thighs.
I can't find a spot in between screaming and just like nothing. They're either nothing or they're screaming at me.
Bring your toes together. Lift up off your knee one at a time. Bring them a little closer together. And then pull your thighs together.
I can't lean on part of me.
It's
too painful. I'll just allow this.
All right. Find your way into a child's pose. So lift up off those knees. Lower the hips back. Find your breath. Check in with all of your muscles. Come forward to a tabletop. Bring the left knee center of the body. Bring the right knee in towards the chest and slowly cross it over. So now take your feet really, really wide and send the hips backwards. Press the feet down into the ground, not all the way. Press the feet into the ground.
This is very funny.
It's the same as the piriformis stretch. It's just not laying down.
I like it laying down.
It's because you're lazy. So you can play with where your hips are, how you feel this. Just gentle with the knees. Maybe lifting some of the weight up off your knees with your hands.
I like these ground better. It's just not the same.
So sending your chest down closer to your knees can make it a little deeper. And slowly switch. Left knee in front of right. Bring the feet closer to the shoulders.
I couldn't think of which leg I had.
I'm finding the spot that feels right for you.
It feels wrong. Okay. It's raining again.
No, I think somebody finally turned the air conditioning on the raffle. Bring it over to a hip. Let your feet come out. And bring it on down to your back. Bring your knees in for a hug. Rock it side to side. Wipe off the sweat. If you're not comfortable touching your face, feel free to go into Shavasana and skip the face part. If you've washed your hands and you're comfortable touching your face, we're going to do a little bit of face relaxation before we go down. So bring your feet wide, knees together. You can also use a towel between your hand and your face. We're going to take palm of a hand and place it on the forehead and just connect with a little pressure, drawing the eyebrows up towards the hairline. And a little pressure of a little extra weight, making your skull find the back of the mat. Find the back of your skull, find the mat. Letting go. Paying attention around the jaw, seeing if you can let go of the muscles around the jaw. Surrendering into the ground. Trying to make sure you're not over flattening the neck towards the ground. Maybe take your chin a little more to the ceiling and then let that go. Allow your shoulders to nestle a little more into the ground. And we're going to take 2 fingers, index finger and middle finger of each hand. We're going to begin at the corner of our eye, press up over the eyebrows, and then come towards the outside edge of the skull. Making a little stroke just above the temple, not into the temple. So up from the center of the eyes into the center of the forehead, and then draw the fingertips to the outside edges of the skull. You can even draw them into the hair. Starting center, drawing up and across. So basically thinking about that furrow line where we get wrinkles. So if you're really scowling at somebody, where would those wrinkles form? Right in the center of the forehead. Why do wrinkles form? Common places that we hold tension and these muscles become hyper stuck on, and they draw the face down into these wrinkle positions. So, great place to run your fingers and remind these muscles to let go.
So if you relax your muscles, you can get rid of your wrinkles?
Yes, also facial stimulation reduces wrinkles. There, vein yoga. If you're feeling like you would like to look a little better, do some more face yoga. It helps with wrinkles.
I'm with you. I think I've had wrinkles since I was 8. I'm funny.
Yeah, you really are. So let that go and see how it feels. And then check in on the face. So everybody holds their attention in different places. See if you hold today, you're feeling like it's in by the jaw, in by the corners of the mouth, or maybe a little more by the corners of the eyes. Just check on these 3 places and then choose which one feels more tense and make little tiny circles here. In a full routine, we would do all of these points. But we're just trying to do a little tiny reset. Take some soft, slow circles here, connecting with how it feels. And then allow the palms of the hands to come to the ground, palms up. The hands to come to the ground, palms up. Take a little wiggle so the shoulders land heavy onto the ground. And you can stay here with your knees up or allow the feet to come to the outside corners of the mat. So laying with your feet together, feet wide, your knees together, can bring a little less tension to the lower back. If you carry a lot of tension in your lower back, this is great. This should be soft on your lower back. You can also bring a pillow in under your knees or throw your legs up on a chair or the couch. Those are options. Laying in full corpse pose and full shavasana, as long as it's comfortable for your back, has the benefit of allowing your muscles to cool in a very elongated position. So pick which one works for you, but make sure that it's not bringing in tension. We did all the work. We want to settle and release now. So take a wiggle of the hips and make sure there is no tension in the lower back. Maybe a soft side to side with the chin. Check in on the neck. Find a long, slow, deep breath. And with the exhale, release even control of the breath. Just surrender and let go. Loosening in, finding your full resting pose. Letting go of control. Perhaps even saying to yourself right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. I can soften and loosen and surrender. And feel free to tune me out and just stay in your space. Let me turn off the video and stay in resting pose. I'm going to read from the Radiance Sutra. Shining One, in these teachings I have given you more than 112 ways of entering the stillness between the waves. Cherish any one of these and make it your own. Embody your inborn wisdom. Your body knows what it needs. It's constantly resetting itself and trying to find homeostasis, trying to find its center. Lying here on the mat, open up, listen to any messages your body is sending you and listen with kindness and care. We're coming right up on 60 minutes, so if you have somewhere to go or something you need to do, now is the time to make your way over into a fetal position and ground down. Otherwise, take your time in Shavasana, maybe taking some time to listen to your internal wisdom. Letting your body tell you what you need and for how long you need it. Try to finish with your hands at prayer at heart space. This ritual and this gesture of bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart. Symbol of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly and precisely as we are. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks so much for practicing with us.